Hi, and welcome to a Drafthouse Diary for Thursday, November 9th, 2023, when I went out to the Alamo Drafthouse at Westminster, Colorado, to see what I think counts as my first holiday movie for this year. It was called It's a Wonderful Knife. This is billed as a holiday horror comedy, but I think that you should know this is really not a parody. It's not super self-conscious about its humor. It has funny moments in it. It's got a certain humorous sensibility to the way it's written, but it's not parodying other movies, even though it is very much a clear take on the It's a Wonderful Life formula. It's very open about that. They even have characters make reference to George Bailey and Clarence within the movie, but it's not out there telling jokes. It's out there telling a story in a way that includes pieces of humor. And the story they're telling is one that I think deserves some more attention than it gets. I know that this is addressed in some horror franchises, but it's something that I always think about is for slasher movies, which admittedly I don't watch a lot of, and other kinds of horror movies. What about the trauma that the survivors are left with? What about the world that the final girl who survives the serial killer is dealing with a year later? That's exactly what we see in It's a Wonderful Knife. The prologue to this movie is essentially a compressed slasher movie, part one of a horror movie franchise. And then the rest of the movie takes place 1 year later, where we are seeing what the main character is dealing with after having survived everything that she did, and life is terrible. It gets to the point where she makes a wish on the Northern Lights that she had never been born. Very, very much in the style of It's a Wonderful Life. And they have hand-wavy explanations, but her wish is granted, and now she's in her town a year after these killings started, and she was not around to stop them. And what follows is a good story. It's got elements of surprise. It's got elements of mystery. It's got elements of piecing together what's really happening, what the rules of this magical game are, and therefore what she has to do to set things right and get back to the life that she now knows that she wants. And all of this is played out by a very good cast. Jane Widdop plays our main character. Jess MacLeod has a very important supporting role. Joel McHale and Justin Long appear in pivotal supporting roles. It's a very good cast, and in general, the production values are very high. This was a Shudder production, as was Kids vs. Aliens, which I reviewed here on the Drafthouse Diary early in 2023. Shudder, of course, being the horror movie streaming service. So once again, as with Kids vs. Aliens, I believe this was a limited run in theaters. It may still be available in theaters as I record this, but I expect that it is really prepping for appearance on that streaming service. And I think that's one of the reasons why it is a very short running time. It's just under 90 minutes. But it was just the right running time for this story. It was structured well for that pace. It never seemed like they had compressed too much. It never seemed like a TV episode that had been stretched so that it barely reached a running time for a feature. I thought it actually was able to take its time where it needed to. So all in all, it was a fun movie. It was an engaging movie. And if you like horror movies, it was an interesting way to kick off the holiday season. Other parts of my trip to the Alamo. The pre-show was dedicated to that very specific subgenre, which has an amazing number of movies in it, and that is the Christmas horror movie. So there was trailer after trailer for various Christmas horror movies, like movies from the Silent Night, Deadly Night series, Black Christmas, a very long trailer for Black Christmas. And interspersed with these were just little purely holiday things like Greetings from Santa Claus from Cypress Gardens and shorts and cartoons involving Santa Claus and the North Pole. So it was just the right kind of pre-show for this movie. Not a whole lot to say about the food that I got on this visit. I got the Cobb salad, which I've had before, and I like that because it's a really nice in-between option. It's not as heavy as some of their entrees, and it's not as light as some of the other salads they have, and it does have protein like chicken and a boiled egg. The service was very good. My server was very efficient, very friendly. The theater, Westminster, I think, is the best theater in this area at the moment. So all in all, this was a really good visit to the Alamo. Well, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please click that like button down below. And if you want more Drafthouse Diaries, click subscribe. And if you're interested in my review of that previous Shudder production, Kids versus Aliens, check out this video next. In the meantime, enjoy your movies, and when you do, stay till the end of the credits.